Oh. 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 Welcome to Meaningful Mornings, live from Washington, D.C. Like it's a show. As I'm seeing everyone who's joining through Instagram from Houston, from Florida, I'm seeing everyone who's joining through Zoom from Atlanta, from Washington, D.C. One of the functional problems of knowing a lot of people is knowing a lot about people who are dying. Last week, we all prayed for a friend of ours in our community. His name is Jitin. He passed away yesterday. Everyone relax your body, enjoy your breath, quiet in your mind, and offer your inner and outer strength to Jitin, to his wife Varsha, to their children who are still in high school. Upanishatsu dharmaha te mai santu, te mai santu. What I just chanted was all of the strength that is needed to feel the Upanishad, may all of that strength reside in us. June 30th is Puja Swami Tejo Mayananda's birthday. The day before that, we had our Living the Gita satsang. We had the commencement of our Seeker to Facilitator program. And so I was preparing some insights to share with all of the students about who Puja Swami Tejo Mayananda is. And my mind drifted to when he was awarded the Padma Bhushan Award from the government of India. So many people congratulated him, recognized him, and this was his response. I'm putting it in the chat and I will also read it out. In all humility, I dedicate this Padma Bhushan Award to my beloved mother, respected father, revered Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda Ji, and the most worshipful God, with whose grace and blessings alone this prestigious national recognition has been conferred on. Why I'm sharing all of this with you right now is that there's a lot of people behind me and in front of me who are great and becoming the greatest in athletics, in medicine, as a family person. Puja Swami Tejo Mayananda is one of the greatest living teachers. And what happens when you become the greatest is you come to feel God more. That all of that greatness is only because of God. Meaningful Mornings is a culture to keep us in check so that we are not that ego, that kite that keeps thinking that I'm rising because of my own efforts. Chapter 14 of the Bhagavad Gita has the structure of Guna, Traya Vibhaga. This is the yoga that's explored. Please note that yoga and yukta are not the same. Yoga is practice, yukta is perfect. Yoga is with effort, yukta is without effort, as in this is natural. So chapter 14, as we explore the gunas are a means and not the ends. Which is why the section of chapter 14 we're in right now is about Atita, the one who's beyond any conditions. We use terminology like Gunatita, the one who's not conditioned by laziness. Koshatita, the one who is not limited by their body. Mayatita, the one who's not limited by their thoughts. In verse 21, Prince Arjuna wants to know more. He wants to intensely know what it feels like to be limitless. In chapter 2, he uses the word lakshana. Tell me about the person who's content. In chapter 14, he uses the word linga. Lakshana and linga mean indicators. They're gauges of contentment, of independence. In verses 22 to 25, Shri Krishna shares how Prince Arjuna can know someone who is perfect, how Prince Arjuna can practice so that he feels that same perfection. Sattva is prakasha, raja is pravritti, and tama is pramada. In English, sattva is quietness. I keep challenging all of the people behind me. Are they secure enough to not need to talk? Are they secure enough to not need to be heard? Raja is aggressiveness. It's where one is always needing to do something, always needing to move. Tama is laziness. Lazy in body, lazy in mind. One who procrastinates. When are they going to live for happiness? Tomorrow. What's going to happen tomorrow? We will die. And then we'll be reborn and live in the same way. Shri Krishna shares these conditions for the one who's beyond na dveshti, na kankshati, which means they don't dislike these conditions, nor do they like these conditions. The implication of this is they're not influenced by these conditions. When we were flying back from Baltimore to Buffalo, and Vyasa and I were sitting together, he was sitting at the window, I was sitting in the middle, and there was a storm outside, and he was concerned by the thunder and the lightning. And I shared with him that these planes are designed to be insulated from the thunder and lightning, and so we are fine. He didn't understand that, so he was scared. I pretended to understand this, so I wasn't scared. You see how he was influenced, and I was not influenced. And earlier in Meaningful Mornings, I'd shared with all of you what we can do when we are being rattled by what's happening in our inner world is to engage in eco. What does the E stand for in eco? Please share with me in the chat, or you can yell it out if you know this. Engage. Very good. Whatever feeling you have, engage that feeling so that you can rise above this. It's like if I'm feeling very lazy, my engagement is I should be more active now. If I'm feeling very conceited, I should engage this by being quiet. More evolved than engage is, what does the C stand for? Chant. Chant with the mind. When I have thoughts of that person is faster than me, this person was given this opportunity, if I chant Om Namo Narayanaya, I no longer have jealous thoughts. So I'm not influenced by that condition. And finally, what's the O? Observe. Just watch. Learning how to watch and observe will change your life. For everyone who's a seeker, this will be a catalyst to seeking. So much of what I do in the large groups of people I'm with is I just watch. They all think that I'm staring at them and intimidating them, but I'm just watching. Now, I'd like to add one more point here. When I try to help people become better public speakers, I've given them an acronym, which is PREP. PREP is prepare, reflect, engage, and the final P is practice. Whatever you did well in that public speaking, do it again. Whatever you didn't do well, fix it. So as we engage in engage, chant, observe, if you feel that you're faltering, if you feel that the gunas are dominating you, at the end of the day, recognize this, reconcile this, so tomorrow you are better. Shri Krishna continues answering Prince Arjuna's question. We're now in verse 23. Udasina vadasinaha guneryo na vichalyate guna vartanta ityeva yovatishtati nengate. Joy. What is the way we can know someone who's beyond? Udasina vat. It is like they are indifferent. Asinaha, and they're sitting like this. Tell me in English, what does udasina mean? All of our Hindi speakers are still saying udas. Udasina doesn't mean that one is dejected. It means they're sitting above. In the plain example, they're above the turbulence. We had reference to Udasina in chapter 12, verse 16. This was the 18th value out of the 25 values in chapter 12. We define this as immune. Udasina is to be immune from these conditions, to be immune from what's happening to your body, mind, intellect. Gunaihi yaha na vichalyate. Here's another way you know someone is awesome. Na vichalyate. They are not rattled. When someone says something to them, they're not bothered by it. When someone doesn't say something to them, they're not bothered by it. This is a powerful teaching, which we've already come across in chapter 6, verse 22. Shri Krishna is describing to Prince Arjuna, if you learn how to contemplate, this is how you'll be. I told all of our youth yesterday that if they learn to be great contemplators, the joy that they experience will be 1,000 times more than anything they've experienced thus far. In that verse and quarter I'd shared, Shri Krishna had shared, Yasmin stitaha, the one who is centered, na dukkena, while in sorrow. And then Sri Krishna uses the term guruna, heavy sorrow, loss of limb, loss of life, na vichalyate, that person is not shaken. If you find you have a lot of struggles in life and you are rattled by this, what should you do? Go beyond the gunas. Learn to be a great contemplator. Guna vartanta iti eva. All that is happening is that the gunas are playing with the gunas. The conditions are playing with the conditions. Giving you a framework to understand this. The gunas, they're subject to vikara. Vikara means change. We all know this intellectually. So what should you do while being in change? Practice samskara. It means that you use change rather than being a slave to change. This morning I told a high school student, I asked him, how is the camp going for you? It's his first camp. And he said, it's all right. Even though I see him smiling all the time, it's all right. And I asked him, are you going to come next year? He said, maybe. They're too cool for this camp. And he said, his dad wants him to get a job. And I was sitting beside Sumanji and some other adults, and I had shared, you're going to get so many jobs in life, they will come and go. But if you can take one message from this camp, which is on embracing discomfort, that will stay with you forever. So you tell your dad, he'll work, you come to this camp. That's samskara, correct? It's learning how to be in change without being shaken. And if you learn how to do this, you rise to akara. Let me change that word. It's akara, not akara. Akara means you become unshakable. Vikara means changing. Samskara means directing. Akara means unshakable. How much would you pay to not be affected by your mind? You couldn't put a value to that, correct? Finally, and I love this word, please remember this word, yaha, if everything that Sri Krishna shared describes you, avatishtati na ingate, which means even while all is moving, you are not moving. Avatishtati means while being centered, you are engaging. While being centered, you are engaging. What happens to the people around you when you become such a personality? This is what Pujya Swami Chinmayananda has shared. It is the contribution made by such perfect masters that has maintained the world culture and has nourished our own civilization, of which we are so very proud today. If you think of all of the contributions you've made to your family, community, society, humanity, it is nothing in comparison to the one who is avatishtati. Lots more to reflect on in terms of these indicators. From inspiration to application, your application yesterday was between verses 22 and 25, which do you need the most? You can share in the chat. For me, it's this verse, verse 23, as many of you are sharing. I am always around people. Even when I close my door, people knock on that door, knock on my door. And so I have to learn to be avatishtati, that even when there's so much noise, that I need to be quiet. Here is your application for this morning. Whenever you're rattled today, as soon as you recognize you're rattled, feel like it never happened. that you were never rattled. Try to practice that. Shanti, 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 be joy.